Hey folks, this is Curtis Brown, instructor for emergency planning and incident response. I just want to highlight some of the items from week 2 and look ahead to week 3. For week 2, we went over the natural hazards. And again, as emergency manager, your role and responsibility is to understand hazards and threats and how those hazards and threats impact the community in which you serve. The discussion post question was about which hazard most likely impacts your community. We have different communities, coastal communities, some mountainous communities that might deal with wildfires. An interesting point to know and to realize is that within the United States, continental United States, and even possibly globally, but flooding is a major problem and issue that a lot of folks face, whether they're in a coastal community or not. So that is an important fact to remember. But overall, the chapter and the reading really talked about the threats that we face. You also had reading to look at the THIRA process, threat hazard identification risk assessment process. That is the process that FEMA outlines for community looking at assessing their threats and identifying ways to mitigate those threats. And so I had asked you all to outline, which one was most difficult. It's difficult to bring folks together. It's difficult to identify solutions. And so a lot of you all identified the first step of doing the assessment, identifying the threats and the hazards. And some of you all discussed the implementation of pulling the community together. No wrong answer there. They're all difficult steps, but I definitely wanted to see you organize your thoughts and put together and better understanding the process of the thyroid process. As it relates to discussion board questions, this week in the announcement post, I gave some guidance related to your discussion board questions. The initial response to my discussion board questions that I post to you should be between 2 to 3 paragraphs. And remember that a paragraph is approximately 3 sentences. So again, I do not want to see, a 1 or 2 word or 1 sentence response to discussion board question. It should be thoughtful. It should use, possibly referencing the literature or the reading that is provided, or your own personal experience. It doesn't have to be a book report or major paper writing with references, but it should be thoughtful and conversational and provide a clear answer to the question that is asked. Your response to your 2 classmates should be at least 1 to 2 paragraphs. And again, a paragraph is 3 sentences. So I do want these discussions to be thoughtful. Again, this is an online class, so a lot of the focus is on the reading, and your interaction in the discussion board demonstrates your participation in the class. So please pay attention to that. And again, the requirement is a time requirement too. So you will be docked points if you do not submit both your initial post and your post to your classmates on time. And I'll provide more guidance on that here shortly. Looking ahead to this week's reading, going back to last week, you were also to complete ICS 100. Again, if you did not actually complete the test, I strongly encourage you to review the guidance and the PDFs that you can download. Again, I'll request all your certificates at one time in April. For this week, you're reading the second half of chapter 2 in the textbook, looking at technological hazards or man-made hazards, terrorism, hazard material accidents, and things of that sort. And again, these are also some of the threats that emergency manager has to be aware of: the natural threats as well as the man-made threats. You're also going to look at a brief video called The Essential Emergency Manager, which really highlights the coordinating role and responsibility of an emergency manager. Emergency manager isn't law enforcement, isn't public health or fire, but when a disaster occurs, emergency managers coordinate all those entities to bring all the best capabilities to bear to save lives and to return things to normal. So I thought it was a neat little video to highlight the role and responsibilities of emergency manager. I have the discussion board question posted. Please respond to that by today at 6 o'clock, and then to 2 of your classmates by Saturday at 6 p.m. I've also made available the brief 10-question quiz. It's multiple choice and true false. It's based on the reading thus far over the first 3 weeks. So it should be pretty easy. And you should submit that by, I believe I have that, you have to have that in by Monday at 2 p.m. This upcoming Monday, which is January 5th at 2 p.m. So more than enough time, and again, is true, false, and a multiple choice. Looking ahead in a couple of weeks, I don't think it's this week coming up, but in the following week, there'll be an executive memo, which is going to be required, 2 to 3 page memo, and I'll provide some guidance specifically on memo writing and how in a professional setting we communicate through a memo, and that will be a graded assignment. I do look forward to seeing some very quality memos from everybody in the course. So again, please keep up with the reading. It's a core requirement of the course, and also keep up with day-to-day events. There's always an emergency occurring, whether here domestically in the United States or internationally, and I'll integrate as an example some of those emergencies that are occurring. Because again, last year, 2017, was a major year for disasters, especially here in the United States, related to hurricanes. And it's important that you're aware of the state of emergency management and homeland security, again, whether it's natural disasters or man-made. That's all I have for now, and please continue moving forward, and feel free to send me an email if you have any questions. Thanks so much.